It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. Man, what a weekend of racing. Just got back after red eye from Washington State at the Ridge. First time at the Ridge. Very interesting. Had a great time despite weather and everything. It was some great racing, some heart stoppers, some tears. Motorcycle racing brings out the best in people, and it was good to see it at the Ridge. So I'm very excited to talk about it. Also, we had MotoGP in Assen, craziness, Aprilia, craziness. People are testing suits, all type of fun to watch. Maybe not for some riders to be on bike at the time. Yamaha still struggling. We're gonna chop it up with the fellas in a little bit. Like I always like to thank the fans, the subscribers, the folks commenting, the folks coming up and asking me if I'm Rexy45. Shout out to Whiskey Plate. Appreciate you checking out the podcast and being a fan. I hope to see you at more events. So with that, I want to thank all y'all for that. And it's nice what we're doing here to Be Forever Cool podcast. And we're gonna have some more news to announce in the near future. Exciting things. Definitely check out Woodcraft. Use the Rexy code. Spend $100. Get a free T-shirt or whatever you buy. It's always nice to have merch to go to the track, to go to the bar, to go wherever you go to have fun. And why not Woodcraft? They've been in the game for a long time. Not only do they make this stuff, they also race it. They also teach it. They also support young kids in and around New England and stuff like that. So very excited to be affiliated to them. Also, Pirelli tires. Shout out to Mark 10 Motorsport. Mention Be Forever Cool. And get 10% off some Pirelli race tires for your bike. It's nice to save some money, especially if you got a big bike. You got a small bike like this and you're smooth like I am. You might not go through tires as quickly, but if you got one of them thousands or 600 or something like that, you already know what it is. Your tire bill is more expensive than your race fees or track fees and stuff like that. But the smile you get from having Pirelli tires, it's nice when you ride home. So I'll leave it there. Also, check out BeForeverCool.com. Our Patreon page as well. Whatever you need, we got it for you. My name is Rexy45. Let's get this thing going. Who's up on the mic, as I should say first? TJ, man, welcome to the show. How you doing? I mean, is there a riot up in Boston? I hear talks of they're trying to get rid of Jaylen Brown. Come on, what's going on up there?
Man, I got no control of that. I mean, he's putting that on himself. So seems like he doesn't want to be here or whatever the issue is. It's under the table, behind the scenes.
Come on, he wants to.
He says that. But something's happening behind the scenes. So, him and his podcast is showing out. After he loses, he's acting up. He wasn't doing this during the season, talking. He was, but as soon as something bad happened, he wants to put on blast.
No, I think that in a space where the people with more money kind of get to set the narrative, and here's a guy that's he's pushing back. I mean, I think he was vice president of the Players Union and stuff like that. So he's been vocal. It's unfortunate that Boston did that. It's unfortunate, but sometimes when you're in positions, when you have a boss, you got to make decisions you probably wouldn't normally make. I'm not trying to give what's the GM up that Brad Stevenson the pass, but come on, man, don't break up a good thing, and they got a good thing, and if you can hold it together, and if you allow anything else, it's crazy. But it's not that kind of show, but it is interesting to see because I'm sure he's going to go somewhere else. So that is what it is. How's the weather up that way?
It's going good. We're about to get this heat wave. I'm sure everyone's already experienced some heat, but it's going to be a hot one. So this weekend, I'm going to be on the track at Palmer with Cycle Smith, and the weekend with Radigan Foundation. So it's going to be a hot track weekend, but I'll be out there supporting and having fun at the same time.
That's what's up.
Looking forward to it.
That's what's up. I can't wait to hear about it on the next show. Reese, man, welcome to the show, man. It's weird going to a race weekend for MotoAmerica, and I don't see you there. It feels like our percentage just dropped.
Nah, man, I was on vacation, man. I had to do a family vacation, so I'll be back at Laguna, back to work, man. Back to the regularly scheduled program.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. It was a good weekend. You know, your boy, as you know, I'm sure you're keeping tabs, got on the podium. So it's always nice when Yamaha gets on the podium for you guys. Can't wait to hear what your thoughts on that. MotoGP.
No, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good to see my boy up there, see JD on podium. So we'll talk about it, and I give him his flowers and justification for that one.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's crazy to see, and the more of the of what you see, it's work. It's a lot of work. I ain't gonna lie.
It is. It's a whole lot of work. You felt the feeling. You keep carrying all that equipment. Now it's heavy.
It's a lot of work. I gotta go find somebody to carry me around and feed me goat's milk.
It's a rolling circus, man. That's what we call it. Just a rolling circus.
Oh man, but it was a good weekend. A lot of people came out, and we're gonna talk about it. A lot of crashes and a lot of first times. It was exciting to see in person. Lewis, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing? You're back in the States. I see we didn't have to come look for you and bail you out of any prison.
No. I was good. I was actually good during this trip. No run-ins with the authorities. No issues like that. No issues getting into the country, getting out of the country, or coming back to the country. Did have a little bit of a mishap getting on my travels to Europe. My bag actually got to Europe 2 days after I got to Europe, so it was interesting buying things that I needed in a crunch because I didn't want to wear the same clothes for 3 days in a row.
Right.
But it was a good time, man. Got to visit a lot of things, got to see a lot of really cool stuff that's on the way for 2027. So yeah, man, I'm glad to be back, but I do enjoy my trips to Europe because I get to see people that I don't get to see too often. And sometimes people don't realize that Teams is a great tool, but sitting down with people face to face, there's nothing that can compare to that interaction. Let's put it that way. So
right.
Put down your phones and go visit somebody.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The younger folks may disagree with that, but I know what you mean. And speaking of travel, and this is my dilemma because I like to walk on the plane and walk off the plane. I don't like to wait for bags because I've had stuff missing in the past and so forth. And now with more weight and more stuff, I'm trying to figure out, what do I have to put in the belly of the plane? And because a lot of these airlines, man, God bless them for what they do, but a lot of them do a bad job.
I'll tell you what, for all the travel that I've had, this is the first bag that's been not lost, but delayed. This is the first bag that didn't make it there with me. I'm going to say in about almost 4 years now is the last time that a bag didn't get there. And it was, there was a cascading effect of a bunch of different things that happened to get to this point. Originally, my flight was from my home to Philadelphia, from Philadelphia directly to Venice, Italy. And because of a delay leaving one of my flight ended up being from my home to Paris, from Paris to Spain, from Spain to Italy. And those two flights in the middle, man, they weren't with the original carrier. They were with like the Spirit Airlines of Europe.
Yeah.
And they sure enough, man, that's who lost my bag.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's what I'm worried about because the same thing coming back. My flight was delayed from Washington to Charlotte, and even Charlotte down here was delayed, and I didn't have anything to check. So that's the beauty of it. But if I did, now it's a process. I mean, I know there's worse things in life to complain about than losing bags and stuff like that. So I guess we'll leave that for the travel show.
Yeah. Well, we'll look out for our new channel, how to get around the world without losing your bag.
Exactly. Speaking of around the world, man, Ayagura, man. I mean, this guy is on fire. let's go around the horn and talk about what he's done. If you watch in MotoGP, they tell you how long it's been since the Japanese rider has won. But this guy is on fire. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Man, that's well deserved for this guy. I mean, he's been showing the results. He has his late race pace. It's a real thing with this guy, And for this race, for all that happened, it's a crazy weekend on Sunday, well, a crazy day on Sunday. Even the troubles that he went through. I mean, this guy deserves the win. I mean, I think they said 22 years or something like that. It's probably longer, but 22 years since the last Japanese winner. But yeah, this guy definitely deserves it, and you can see his emotion. Still doesn't really express his emotion as much when he speaks, but he can show it, sure. So, but man, to have that satellite, Aprilia doing that, that's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about even that some more what Aprilia did this weekend. Reese, what are your thoughts on Agura winning? We've been saying if he can start well, he's going to finish well, and we've said that about a lot of riders. Vinales, Digia, Furman, Acosta, but this is the one guy that's actually delivering on the goods. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, what Agora did, his race pace, his late race pace, is nothing short of impressive. I mean, you see that it was like he almost made a mistake and still had the pace to come back and still overtake. He didn't start great, and he still came up there to the front runners. So what he's doing is just impressive. He's showing that he is a future MotoGP winner. He might even be a MotoGP champion one day. We'll see how it goes. But, I mean, the path he's on is on the right path. And he's very humble. He's very quiet. So
he's very matter of fact, bro. I mean, he's just kind of like, when they were asking him about, how many in the post press conference, how many riders, do you think can win? He was like, how many? And the reporter, was like 6 or 7. He's like, there you go, 6 or 7. He's not in the. He doesn't deal in the gray area. He's just facts, and that's it. I'm not going to think. I'm not. At one point, he was just like, I don't imagine these things. I just do them, which is crazy because some people get lost in the fantasy side of things and not really in the doing side. And he seems like he's more than level-headed.
He is. He's very level-headed. And honestly, I always say, and he's one of the most coolest guys in the paddock. Like even Marquez said it. He was like, man. Like, did you have any kind of struggles? Because he came in and just the one time he just had like not even sweating. Like the one race he had, and it was like no sweat, no nothing. Like, dude, like, are you having any kind of problem? Like, it's like you have no kind of worries. He's like, whatever.
Right. Yeah. That's. I agree. He's definitely not. We see it in some of these riders when the bike don't feel right or something don't feel right. You can hear the stress in their voice. In his voice, he just knows the solution is coming. Lewis, what are your thoughts, man, on Agura? What he did. Can he continue?
He could definitely continue. I mean, he's got the bike underneath him to do it. Aprilia is proving itself to be the best bike on the grid right now. Not by a long margin, but by enough of a margin where all the riders that are on Aprilia are benefiting from what the Aprilia has put out on the track and the package that they put together. And everybody's benefiting from it. It's actually surprising that the factory Aprilia guys didn't benefit as much as the Trackhouse guys, because the Trackhouse guys went like 66 for 66 in points. Like both of them walked away with a ton of points this weekend, and they matched each other from what I understand. Like they took away 66 points as a team, which is crazy for a satellite team to win the sprint race, win the main race, and be on the podium for both races. Qualified well, which has always been one of his Achilles heels. Like he doesn't qualify very well, and this time he put it together, was able to qualify well. So it was just a great weekend for him. I mean, I've kind of had him as a little bit of a dark horse because I do feel that Aprilia is such a great package. But this weekend, they proved that they can put it on the box. And you know what? If I feel bad for anybody, it's Pedro Acosta, because he might rage quit motorcycle racing at this point because everybody has won before him. Yeah, he's just like, what do I have to do? I can't even keep this bike on for an entire race. And these guys just got here and they winning. I've been here. I'm better than them, but I'm just not on the package, man.
Right. And it does feel bad. But let's talk about, before we dive into KTM and their woes, for Aprilia top 4, I know Martin can get pole every round if he's feeling it. He's up and down, but what does it say for Aprilia with the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not chaos, it's not imploding, but just all the mishaps that's happened. Martin taking them out, or Fernandez and them, and Martin, just all these things, and then for these guys to come and be 1, 2, 3, 4. Last week I was saying what needs to happen for Aprilia to kind of, is it outside? Someone needs to come in from the outside to say something to them or figure it out. But it sounds like this weekend was a good weekend for Aprilia. What are your thoughts on 1, 2, 3, 4 in Q2 with TJ?
I mean, yeah, Aprilia is definitely showing they're getting their step back, and I'm basically saying is they're just untangling the cobwebs and getting back to where they were. So yeah, definitely in Q2 for them to get 1, 2, 3, 4, that is a good sign to have a good weekend. Obviously, you don't know that they're going to finish the way they did, but yeah, overall, I mean, Aprilia had a great sprint. They had a great GP race besides Bezecki's crash, but they had a good solid weekend overall, and I would say they bounced back just slightly from the past 3 races, 3 rounds, where it's just chaos, crashing out own teammates and punching guys, and that's I felt like they untangled the cobwebs a little bit.
Right. Lewis, man, what are your thoughts on Aprilia? 1, 2, 3, 4. What the satellite is doing, and just what they were able to pull off this weekend. Can they sustain it?
I mean, they can absolutely sustain it. They do have the bike for it. The only thing that I can think about that can kind of derail them is themselves. Sometimes they're their own worst enemies. Martin gets into his head and he overrides the bike, or he makes mistakes. Bezecki, he's kind of over the past few weekends, we've seen his struggles and the way that he's kind of like not been able to respond. And not all of it his fault, but some of it he does have to take blame for it, because at the end of the day, he's the guy in the seat. But on the Trackhouse side, I mean, those guys have zero pressure on them because they're not at Trackhouse next year. Neither one of them is going to be riding for that company.
No. It sounds like what Fernandez is the seat saved, man.
They might be trying to get a check together now, but
the rumors are there, man. And I remember at the beginning of the season, I was like, can they do enough? Can he do enough? And he sounds like,
I mean, if they don't keep him with the results that he's kind of put together last season and this season, and again, he's still a young rider. He's still, I mean, I'm not saying that he's the future of MotoGP, but he's a young rider, and I do see the better parts of a Maverick Vinales in him versus the bad parts of a Maverick Vinales. He's still a little bit of a hothead, but he's not as much of a hothead. And if Trackhouse was going to retain anybody, I would absolutely tell him to put some money on him.
Yeah, I think them losing Agura is huge, and I think the fact that Raul is able to doing enough to save his seat, and hopefully he does save his seat, because he shows he's faster than Jorge Martin. And I know Jorge Martin is sitting here saying, I didn't have enough time on the bike. Give me more time on the bike. Give me more time on the bike and I'll be there. But Raul, where I think Bez has to just manage the time in front of Martin, but Raul and definitely, obviously, Aguro can chase down Martin if Martin pulls out. And so, yeah, I think, I think for Fernandez, I think he went to MotoGP a year too soon, because it was like his rookie year in Moto2, and he went up with Gardner. and so he didn't have. I think he just needed more time, and fortunately he had it. But those first few years, man, that man could have walked into the water and not looked back.
It's hard to say no to the offer because everybody in Moto2, their goal is to get to MotoGP, and if somebody gives you that offer, it's so hard to say no. One, money wise, you're going to make a lot more money in GP than you're going to make in Moto2. You're going to get better opportunities in GP than you're going to get in Moto2, and you're going to work the maximum amount of eyeballs on you in MotoGP. But to do that, also, you have to come in with the right mentality and the right mindset and the right abilities. And you can't go in there and not have that strong mental state. And I think that's what's taking Raul a little bit longer to get to is now mentally, he's a strong rider, man. Yep. Like nobody intimidates him.
Yep.
On any given weekend, he believes he can win the race. He doesn't look at anybody that's in front of him like, oh, this is such and such a person in front of me. He's like, no, this is an obstacle in front of me. I got to get around this dude. Yeah. Like my goal is up at the front and I can't stay here. And I think in the last 2 years, we've seen that maturity from him. And if Trackhouse needs to put some money together and put a package together and keep them, man, because if they start from scratch with 2 new riders, as good as the bike is, you still have to, the guys have to get accustomed to the team. They have to get accustomed to working with the mechanics, with the techs, with this, with that. If you got at least one guy, the retention of a valuable employee that has knowledge is kind of worth it in many, many cases.
Right. Although I don't know what his numbers are, but I'm pretty sure they probably might not pay him.
I'm sure he's not getting paid that much, man.
Yeah.
It's Trackhouse.
It's like you know, the first year and a half you did nothing, so we gotta get that money back. Reese, man, what are your thoughts on what Aprilia is doing? The top. They seem to go really well at Assen. Can they keep it up? And what are your thoughts on how they qualifying and how they finished?
And they can absolutely keep it up. It's just all on what they want. What they're doing with Aprilia is great. Ferrandez is actually doing well. Gora's doing well. That's like you said, that's the big blow that they're losing when they lose him. Ferrandez has stepped his game up and stepped up really big. So, I can see them doing very well, and that's, we always talk about that inside the paddock, inside the team. You never want to take out your own teammate. You never want to take out, especially the factory team. You never want to do that. We're all kind of racing for the same thing for the manufacturer, but we're not racing for, each other. But we're racing against each other, but we're still racing for the manufacturer. So we want all the, the brand to be up there. So maybe they had to talk with all them guys and sat them down. But what those guys are doing at Trackhouse, is impressive. And I have to give them that. It is impressive.
Yeah.
Because you always want to beat the factory boys.
Right. Yeah. The last time we saw something like that was Ducati's run just the other day. But before that, it's been a while that a manufacturer has been dominating at least top 4, top 5. What they've been able to pull off the end of last season and this season so far is miraculous. But let me say this, guys. Ducati look like they got something for them. We saw Bagnaia do something well. We saw Marquez do something well. We saw Didier do something well. Maybe not enough, but I think by the second half of the season, I feel like Ducati's going to be a lot closer to the Aprilias. What are your thoughts, TJ, on what the Ducatis were able to do this weekend in an era where we're saying Aprilia is the best bike?
They were able to stay ahead of the Hondas and the Yamahas, so that's a good thing. But yeah, besides like what Pecco went through in the GP race, you see there, it just wasn't for them this weekend. Just to see like their best Marc Marquez struggle a little bit, being between like 5th and 7th and going back and forth with a few riders. But overall, Digi's holding them down. It was good to see Alex back out there. Alex actually performed pretty well. So they're still getting points. So they're not wasting the weekends away. So that's a good thing also. Because we're seeing Aprilia kind of waste some weekends away where they got no points across the board.
Yeah.
So like they're still getting points, and I feel like they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think Aprilia gave up at least 100 points, at least. And not counting Bezecchi's sprint crashes either. This is just the last four rounds.
Yeah.
They've given up a lot of points by not gaining any at all, really. Reese, what are your thoughts on Ducati, what they're doing? We finally starting to see the dominoes fall. Mark got a 2-year deal with Ducati, but it seems like Bagnaia was the fastest Ducati over the weekend. You think he's trying to say a little something in that? Or is it just Ducati all around, just getting that 26 bike sorted out?
Could be a little bit of both. You're getting to do the 26 sorted out and getting it figured out, trying to help Pekka figure out this front end field that he's always been complaining about. Or it could be the same thing I said before. It's always when the guy doesn't have a contract or he leaves that team, he starts dominating or starts winning. And I'm like, where was this in the beginning of the season, or where was this at, during the season? Now that you don't have a contract, or you're leaving, now you want to show out. But I mean, it could be a little bit of both. It could be just one or the other. You never know. We don't know the inside scoops and stuff. But I mean, it's nice that Ducati did figure it out, and they're coming here with the Sachi ring. Mark saying that he should be at 100%, and he's going to push his hardest. That's one of his tracks. So I don't know. I mean, it's great to see it. It should be a battle up front now. So we'll see what happens here next coming around.
Right. Lewis, man, somehow if Ducati was able to win the championship and it was Digia or Bagnaia, which are two guys that are leaving next year, is it a good win for Ducati? And also, what are your thoughts on where Ducati is right now in the championship?
Yeah, win's a win. They won last year with Martina. He's not there anymore either.
Oh, yeah.
So if anything, it'd be or 2 years ago, if anything, it'd be a continuation of the streak that they're on. Somebody wins and then he leaves, and somebody wins and then he leaves. So if anything, they're consistent in their picking of riders and getting rid of riders. But this goes back a long time. I mean, people have been saying for a long time how Ducati specifically is not the most loyal company in the world when it comes to sticking with riders long term or showing loyalty to some riders that have done a lot for them. When it comes time to let them go, let them go. Sometimes you just got to cut it loose.
Dude, the most winningest rider they cut loose for them. I mean,
that's all right.
I felt the same way when they got rid of I think it was Pedro Martinez, the Red Sox. I'm like, you keep this guy, man. Come on, I don't care. You keep him. He's a national treasure.
It wasn't a national treasure for them, man. For them, the bike is the treasure. Who's ever riding it, it's their how can I put this, man? It's their honor to be able to ride this bike. It's not Ducati's honor to allow this person to get on their bike. Like it's
an honor to fall on the sword.
Yeah. It's an honor to fall on the sword. It's not an honor to pick the sword up. It's pretty crazy. But with that said, I mean, it looks like in the last couple of rounds, as Mark has gotten a little bit healthy, Ducati has been able to find a couple of things. And this weekend, Bagnaia was showing that he was doing really good. And the same way that I said that there's a hometown half a second, there's a I just got fired second and a half. So two things happen. There's two things happen when you get fired. You either start crashing a lot, because before I leave, I'm going to leave these people with a big repair bill, or I'm going to show them what they're missing out on. Which, come on, that's like when your girl leaves you and then you decide to go to the gym. Watch, I'm going to get in shape. Yo, you're a little late, son. You're getting in shape for the next girl, maybe, but this last girl, she don't want you no more. It's over.
Hey, you got to flex on them, see what they lost. Make sure they know what they lost.
Yeah.
But Ducati obviously knows what they lost. That's why miraculously something went wrong with his bike in the second race. We can't have him winning too many races.
Yeah. I know. Listen, I know, which is it's we're not conspiracy theorists or trying to spread any, but it does look very unfamiliar. Let's talk about Digia. I mean, he's still the fastest, the most points. Ducati, another guy that Rossi would love to keep, but he has a deal going to KTM. I don't know if it's better, probably better more financially and whatnot. But what does it say? Where's a guy that is riding really well, staying with Ducati probably will give him a better chance to win a championship than KTM next year. What are your thoughts on how Digia did? He's still one of the fastest Ducati on the grid.
Yes. Crazy thing is they don't really talk about Digi like that. We all kind of skip around him, jump on the other guys, Maury Martin and Pecco, but he's been holding his own as long as he stays relevant up in the top five. He has a chance to possibly be in one of the top three in the championship at the end of the year, possibly winning it. But his next decision, whatever he does, will be a good one. He's definitely a good rider to finish and all these races top five, and I just don't think he has the pace to stay up front. I don't know what it is. I know we talked about it last show, like what can they do to help him get a little boost. I don't know what can be done, but as long as he stays relevant where he is, just he'll get his time. Sure.
Right. Reese, what are your thoughts, man? Looks like Reese might be frozen again. Oh, there you go. Reese, your thoughts on Digia, man? Does VR46 team do everything to try to get him to win the championship this year?
I mean, you can try to get him to win the championship, but I mean, it's still a long shot. But I mean, he is leaving. I don't, like you say, you don't know if he left for financial status or whatever. But at the end of the day, it probably is financial. There's more money in the pot. But leaving Ducati, one of the great bikes right now, yes, in this era of the 1000cc, this is one of the top bikes with Aprilia. Aprilia now I'm leading the way this year. But going into the 800 series era or 850 era, we have no idea what we're going into. We're all going into it blind. So you don't know who's going to come out on top and who's going to be better. As Lewis would say, somebody's still going to be a shit box.
Right. But, chances are the people on top kind of stay on top, right? They kind of got it figured out. I got to imagine Ducati got something figured out. Lewis, what are your thoughts, man, on Digia?
I think he's a good rider. I just don't see him. I see he has flashes of brilliance and then he kind of fades and has flashes of brilliance and kind of fades. Like, I just don't see him consistently doing this. And I don't see him consistently doing this for 20 rounds. If we get to like round 14 or 15 and he's still consistently in that range, that's great for him. I think that's again a good way to go out before he leaves the Ducati team. But I honestly, man, I don't see him doing this consistently. Like, there's no weekend that I line up and I'm like, oh, this is DG's weekend to win. Like that. I don't think I've ever put those words together in that order. Because he's not one of those guys that comes into the weekend with the swagger that he's going to win. Like, he comes into the weekend with the swagger that he'll probably get a third, second, fourth, fifth. Like, he'll be in the mix of the top 7, but he's not one of the guys that if you told me right now, pick the 3 guys that you think are going to win this race, he's never going to be on that list if you give me 7 names. And those names include Bagnaia, Bezzecchi, Martin, Marquez. Like,
I think it's safe to say none of us have picked him as a sprint winner or a MotoGP winner when we've been picking this whole season so far.
I can guarantee you, I don't think any of us have said that combination. None of us has said DG, Agura, and then Fernandez. that mix has never happened.
No, maybe the 2 Aprilias, but not the.
Maybe the Aprilias, but I never DG, dude. I think I picked Morbidelli once before him.
Yeah. I think it was at Mugello. Yeah. Before we move on to MotoAmerica and talk about that, We got to touch on. I mean, let's touch on the crashes. Alex Marquez crashed. I mean, this guy here, talk about abuse. He's beating his body up, and he's still finding a way mentally to come back and still be one of the fast guys. Let's talk about Bez's crash. From listening to the press conference, it sounds like the Aprilia's behind other bikes. The front end gets a little bit light. That can't feel good. I had a Volkswagen that I put a big engine in. It was very light. After a certain mile speed, the front came up, and it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. What are your thoughts on those crashes? I would start with TJ.
One, I gotta give it to Alex Marquez for obviously it's his job, but like coming back and being competitive, I guess that's in the Marquez family's blood. If you return, you don't return like a slouch. You gotta go out there. Obviously, you're supposed to go out there and give it all if you want to compete. But to see him go down again, I'm glad that he's okay, but just watching his brother, seeing him crash, you see his emotion. It's just like, damn, again.
Yeah.
I think that's
why Marquez didn't go back out at the end.
Yeah, and I don't know if obviously Marquez gives it his all, but it just wasn't his weekend either. But it's just to see that to happen and for him to just come back out and still do well in the GP race, it's like superhuman. But
right, yeah. He's like, I made it to Q2. I ain't gonna go out. I'm still gonna finish top. What do you think?
Yeah,
fifth place.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Reese, man, what are your thoughts on the crashes? What Alex Marquez is doing? The mental toughness. I mean, like I say, being more part of the, for lack of a better word, the circus. And you hear these folks talk. I mean, I think in every sport, if you're competing and you're healthy, you ain't competing hard. So, what are your thoughts on these guys showing up? Both arms look like, he got the skin just peeled off and he's still putting on a suit. And I've gotten little, scratches here and there on the knuckles or on the knees. And that abrasion, I mean, I'm doing, club race in 8 laps. And that abrasion, I'm like, yo, man, I can't wait to get out of this suit. What are your thoughts on what he's able to do?
I mean, what these guys are able to do, hurt, battered, bruised, I always say, they're held together by duct tape and glue, but what these guys do after they're beat up like that and still be able to put the bike in and be competitive, get on the bike and be competitive, is crazy because I'm looking at it like, I'm going to sit this one out today. The way some of these guys go down is crazy. Like, if you never knew what the definition of a ragdoll was, look at Bezecki's crash, and that's a ragdoll, at a high speed. So
backwards,
everybody's like, right, and people are like, "Oh, I had a crash." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think you had a crash like this." And everybody say, "Oh yeah, the track is softer." Nah, it still hurts. It still hurts. So, but what these guys do is still be able to, hurt and put the suit on and put the visor down and do this kind of craziness. Yeah, it takes a level bit of screw loose.
Yeah, no doubt, a little bit. Is a commercial coming out of this from Dainese, Lewis?
Nah, man. we're happy that Bezecchi. I mean, as a motorcycle fan in general, I think we should all be happy that gear in general is where it's at, and track safety is where it's at, because we had some nasty ones this weekend in world racing, and even here in MotoAmerica, we had some pretty nasty crashes. Mm-hmm. And to see all the people that were able to walk away relatively unscathed, some blacks and blues, that's huge. This is what keeps pushing gear manufacturers to continue to try to find the next big innovation or what new technologies out there to try to keep these guys safe. But, you don't want to see them testing anything, but when they do test it, to know that they got away relatively unscathed is great. If somebody had said he broke this or he broke that, I'd be like, you know what? If he can walk and he can, carry on with a normal life afterwards, great. But the fact that he was able to somehow miraculously not break anything, no long-term effects, no concussion, no this, no that, that's a gear and a little bit of of shine from the guy above, just taking care of you a little bit, man. You got to give a little bit of credit to the guy above, because without him, this could have been much, much worse. And even for Alex Marquez, man, he had some bad crashes, but still was able to walk away and still was able to compete. So,
right. I mean,
great. I mean, but I will say that I hate tracks that have those pebble runoffs, because those pebble runoffs, if you've ever crashed in them, even if you are not hurt, they hurt.
Yeah.
Like those pebbles hitting you at 130 miles an hour, they hurt, man. They will leave you looking black and blue all over. No matter what gear you have on, it's just, imagine somebody throwing a handful of rocks at you at 130 miles an hour. That's what hitting those. I'd rather have sand, dude. Or just pave everything and just give me mad runoff, like something.
They want a lot of low grip out there.
They want to deter, getting any track advantage.
Yeah, it was a scary weekend this weekend, and when all was said and done, seeing how many guys were able to walk away from these crashes, we've said it several times. The level of gear, the level of protection. I mean, there's no excuse for people to be out here racing or riding without airbags. There's no excuse for people to be racing and riding without like really good gear. I mean, it's out there. You just got to be willing to make the investment. And if you're going to buy suspension before you buy quality gear, you're doing this sport backwards, man.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. I think it was Moto 3 that somebody got ran over and he popped up like a jack in the box and got back on the bike. I was like, no. Oh no.
But then again, he's young bounces, man. you hit me with a Moto 3 bike, man. You better get the tow truck out there. I'm not getting up.
Nope. Everything, investigation, everything.
They're gonna helicopter me from where I fell.
Come on, man. You can bounce, man.
Nah, when I hit the ground, it's a thud. It's not a bounce.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you see those TikTok clips where, in your 20s, you can hop off.
Yeah.
Off the sidewalk.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, yes, I ease off the back of my pickup. The better to pick up. Dude, even, doing the track walk, I'm sitting here like, I could just hop over that. I'm like, man.
Nah, knees are like, nah. Walk around.
Yep. Oh man! Speaking of MotoAmerica and being at the tracks, man. This weekend is crazy. We see Ducati and MotoGP doing well. I mean, let's just go into the Superbike. I mean, 2 Ducatis crashed out the first race in the front of in the front. I mean, it's wet out. You got an 8-second lead in PJ Jacobson and crash out. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it seems like Ducati this year, these guys, I don't want to sit here and say they're like Bez in the sense of crashing out and giving up points, but they're crashing out and giving up points, and they've given up a lot of points. What are your thoughts on race 1 and even race 2? Because, no Ducati was on the podium for race 2 either.
I mean, to see PJ jump out front like that, I was kind of excited just to see him get back out and, get out to the lead. But, there's a thing where I think of like when someone's a little too far ahead or pushing too fast in certain conditions, I'm just like, all right, something might happen. And it's just unfortunate that, he didn't really see like his gap. Well, he probably did. He obviously knows like his gap, but he didn't have to push as hard as he was doing. Obviously, in the rain, a little mistake, you can go down. But it just sucks to see the Ducatis just lose it like that, and just the Yamaha's right behind them. They would have finished, so it was good to see JD Beach still hang on. Mm-hmm. Seen him go down the rain before, so he's probably like, "Oh, I can't do that." I've seen Scotch go down the rain, so. it was cool to see that JD Beach and Skulls was able to hang on. And hopefully PJ can, get back from that mistake that he did. The Sunday was a little drier, so that's also sucked that they couldn't pull it on Sunday. Definitely wanted to see that happen, but the BMW came out with the win.
No doubt, no doubt. Reese, you weren't there, but I'm sure you were watching. You must have been, kicking rocks when you saw them out front. Then you're picking the rocks up after you saw the crash. What are your thoughts, man? And what is it like, when your guys out front like that, and and they make a mistake? What is it like if you guys seeing that, and how do you regroup afterwards?
When he's out front like that, and you do know he has a significant gap, there comes a time where you're like, if you want to, and it's, depending on the lap situation, depending on where we're at in the race, are we 2/3? Depending on where it's at, you kind of want to tell them just to, hey, you can back down a little bit, go at a different pace. He needs to know. But sometimes it's kind of hard, because sometimes you don't want to take him out that groove. If you take him out that groove, that's when he's definitely going to mess up.
Right.
So, right. It's kind of like a give and take. That's when it comes down to the crew chief, call. Say, hey, he'll tell the pit board guy, hey, tell him to back down a little bit, just slow it down just a tad. It's like a big ball, upper management call. But sometimes you actually got to know that as a rider too. Hey, and a lot of times these guys, from doing the pit board for so many years, these guys ain't looking at the board. They're not even paying attention to it. They'll look at it like one lap and then another lap, and then like for the next 4, they don't even care about it no more. They're just gone. But it comes down and look at it, see what your gap is, and if your gap is significant, hey, let me slow down. Manage this gap. Let me just manage it and keep it here. That's just a lack of focus, or took your eye off the ball real quick, and split second in the rain, you're going down.
Right. It was wild to see. Louis, what are your thoughts, man, on Ducati, on PJ and Cam crashing out, Killer Cam?
Ducati should be doing better. Remember, the newer bikes, and we've mentioned this before, the newer bikes, they're still getting data on the Dunlop tires, because all the data they collected has been on the Pirelli tires. When they tested the bike and they rode the bike in Europe, they were on Pirelli. So they're trying to take information and kind of transfer it over to the US and make it work with Dunlop tires. So that's one thing that's kind of maybe hurting the new Ducatis in the class. Because if you look at Cam P, he's on the old Ducati. That's the bike that they bought from Warhorse, that Warhorse raced last year with Josh Herron. So they have a ton of data on that, with that bike and on the tires and everything else. And when they sold them the bike, they sold them everything they had, so that they can kind of pick up the ball and run with it. So Wrench is a little bit further ahead than I feel the current Ducatis. The new Ducatis, they're still learning these bikes. They're still getting them tweaked to work with Dunlop. And then the other aspect of this is, this is becoming a little bit of a reoccurring issue with PJ Jacobsen. He a great rider, faster than I'll ever be, but we're pundits. We're here to talk about what we see and what we think. And to be very honest with you, like I've seen now for many, many years where PJ Jacobsen just doesn't have the race-long concentration to win on a consistent basis. The dude makes mistakes that are mental mistakes that shouldn't be happening. When you have that kind of a lead, yes, it's a rain race and every corner is risky, but you have a lead. You should be dialed in. You should be, making sure all your shifts are done, hitting your markers, hitting your points, hitting the brake. Sure, anything can happen in a rain race, but then in the dry race, he does the same thing. So, take the rain out of it. He still crashes himself when it's dry. He still makes the same mistakes when it's dry. He still has the same issues when it's dry. So you can't really even blame the rain at this point. Like, if I can blame anything, you kind of have to blame the rider, man, because at the end of the day, you're the guy on the bike. You're the one part on the bike that the team can't fix.
Right. And honestly, we'll move along to Yamaha, but I'm gonna segue in the sense that we saw how JD was riding the Yamaha. He was sliding around in the rain, so he found the edge just right. So and I think Reese can probably touch to it more. But we start with TJ. What are your thoughts on JD Beach being able to win his first Superbike race in over 3 years, and to do it the way he did it? It was not the first for Rexy Escalante, because it's been over 6 years since he's been on the podium. So a couple of guys got some well-needed attention this past weekend. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, JD is definitely a fighter out there. I actually love his racing. And it's funny, I was watching MotoAmerica and them talking on the podcast. The last time he won, he was a fill-in rider at Jersey in 2023. And that's when I was there. And I remember when he won on the Yamaha. So it was pretty cool seeing how excited he was. And to actually be like the actual factory rider this time around, the range is nothing to him. It's unfortunate that the Ducatis went down in front of him, but racing's racing. Everyone's going through the same thing, so it definitely means a lot. I mean, we just saw it in MotoGP. You got to fight back. Like Dora got his first win. It's not easy. So you got to stay out there. And the fact that he was sliding around, able to hold together, and Schultz is just right there as well. And he's hungry. So definitely a good sight to see that JD got his first win.
Okay, no doubt. Reese, man, I mean, I'm sure you were texting and messaging, but like I said to TJ, man, your boy was sliding around that bike in the rain too. So is it just a matter of mental toughness, just more time on the Dunlop tire on the Yamaha?
Well, you got to remember, I've been with JD since back in Supersport days, but JD does have a flat track background. So JD likes that bike moving around on the back of him. He's comfortable with it. And we all say, and I've been saying it for years, JD is a wet weather specialist. When it comes to the wet, and we all know that the rain is a great equalizer, but when it comes to that wet, he loves it because he loves that bike moving around. Like, he's comfortable when it moving around on him. So for him, it's like it's a walk in the park, because, at flat track, you got to slide the back end going around the corners and everything else. So he loves doing that. That's his thing. So for him moving it around, that was perfect for him. That was like home.
Right. Lewis, man, what are your thoughts, man, on Yamaha? And let's talk about Matthew Schultz as well, because he chucked his bike down the road. I mean, talking about having to put a bike together, and he got on the podium both days. It's pretty impressive in and of itself.
No, well, he's another guy that's great in the rain. Just there's a handful of guys that are really, really talented when it comes to wet conditions. They're just comfortable in the conditions. They're comfortable when the bike's moving around. Like, they have a feeling in the handlebars, a feeling on the brakes, a feeling on the throttle. And if you've got all those pieces and your mind can kind of work that way, and what you can get out of a bike in the wet, you can be really dangerous. I mean, you can really show people a level of talent and a level of throttle and brake control and body control, and just and he's one of those guys that in the rain he does that. And then he chucked the bike to the moon and back, and they put it back together with whatever parts they found in the paddock, and he still put it back on the box in the second race. So that was super strong for him to come back, because he didn't get as much time on the seat in the dry conditions to probably set the bike up the best way that he could, because they were trying to put the bike back together. I think this is one of the cool things about MotoAmerica, where you don't have two bikes, where if you do chuck your bike, your mechanic's got to go to work. If he had two bikes, like they do in MotoGP, I don't think it's as exciting. I think the whole watching the pit crew working and trying to race against the clock and do that, it just reminds me like of a movie.
Right.
So I do enjoy that about MotoAmerica.
We just got to go and attack Yamaha, flip one of the bikes.
You think it's fun? That's not fun. That's stressful.
That's why I'm not a mechanic. I like looking at it. I don't say I like doing it. If I scratch my handlebar, I'm like, I'm done for the weekend. I'm not fixing it.
What was it? A couple rounds ago, Max Flinders, when his bike crashed, I think it was the Daytona. Like they put his bike back. I don't remember. I think it was the Daytona. They put his bike back together in like 10 minutes or something like that, throwing the red flag, and he's still able to go out there. Like, yeah, I agree with you. That was definitely more exciting to have the rush against the clock and see the result you can still come out with what you just did.
It's something amazing about being able to work efficiently under pressure. Mm-hmm. It makes the podium even sweeter because there's moments that's where some people give up. There's some people like when they got to rush and get things done. Some people just and I used to do that racing, so I definitely used to be one of those people.
It makes it easier when you have a team that knows every little thing to do. Like this person has this job, that person does this, and you can all work together. It makes it so much easier. So, like we have that all the time, and it's like even though we have two, one team, one rider has a crew, the other rider has a crew. If one guy goes down, we all kind of jump in together. We know exactly where to go, know exactly what to do, and we all kind of just get it done. And we'll even at night, if it's the end of the night, we'll stay till 11, 12 o'clock and get it all. We have, at least 80% done to come back in 6 a.m. to finish it up for race 2.
Right. What's the normal protocol after a guy chucks the bike down the road? Does he leave a brown envelope on Sunday morning, Sunday night?
You better be buying dinner. You better be buying dinner. That's the key.
That's the key to keeping you guys smiling while you're working, no doubt.
You mean you don't run to the paddock and try to punch him in the face because you crashed? That's not the protocol? I thought that was the protocol, man. Oh, man, I got to get these memos, man. I keep missing these memos.
That might be car racing, man. That might be car racing. I ain't going to say car racing. Let's talk about that pass that Sean Dillon Kelly did on Schultz in race 2. Run the guy wide, but Schultz was a gentleman and allowed himself to go wide, so they both stayed up. Is this good for the sport when you see these guys going for the win, or it was a little bit too much, take the second place and not push the guy off the track, or maybe they both go down and nobody gets to check out of two of them? What are your thoughts, TJ?
Sean Dillon Kelly's been on one. He's definitely trying to get that orange cat to the top, but that pass for him was pretty normal. If you see just lap before, he did that on Bobby Fong or a couple other guys, JD Beecher, I forget the pattern, but like just lap after lap, he was just hitting everybody in that corner. It's just unfortunate that last lap I seen it coming because the lap after the white flag, it was just a little closer to Schultz, and I was like, he's gonna get him. And that corner, he was just picking so many people off. It was a little aggressive, but he had to do it. And I give it to Schultz for staying up, going over the rumble strip, because that's a little roller coaster down the hill type of corner. And it was pretty aggressive by Sean Dillon Kelly, but man, that's racing right there.
Right. What are your thoughts, Reese? Schultz did say if it was him, he would have done the same thing. So from a rider, he's saying that's just normal.
Technically, yeah, it's just normal. Even myself, coming from sports and coming from basketball, we may be friends off the court and everything else of the season, but when we're on the court, I'm trying to kill you. I don't care. Like, it is what it is. The same thing here. It's these guys are racing for checks. They're racing for money. They're racing for a championship. Like Lewis said, that bonus money is really good. And, it's nice. You got your sponsor money. You got everything. So at the end of the day, I got to put food on my table, take care of my family. So yeah, they're trying to race. The pass was hard, but it wasn't where it was, a nasty pass.
Right.
Like TJ said, he's already did that same pass. He was owning that waterfall, the waterfall turn. He did it on JD. He did it on Bobby, and it was still clean. It was aggressive, but it was a clean pass. It was a clean pass because if Matt came in any tighter, he's going to take both of them out. Now both of them get no points. Now both of them are out of the championship hunt. Not out of the championship hunt, but they're losing maximum points of 25.
Now, let me ask this. If Sean was a slower rider and did the same thing, would you think that would have been unfair at that point? Because, he was the stronger rider.
Yeah, if he was a slower rider, then it would have been unfair because now you're just trying to bounce off the guy to get him out the way. Because if you actually, I had, my phone up, my laptop up, watching, sector times, and Sean was actually fast in certain sectors. And the times that he was coming up to the waterfall, he was actually faster. Matt had the bike planted. Like if you watch it coming around the corner, Matt was planted and he would get it, but Sean was still had a faster time. So it was perfect for Sean. It was set up perfectly for him. And now, like you said, if he was slower and slower sector times, then yeah, now we got a different issue. But his times he was quick.
Right. Lewis, man, what are your thoughts on that? And also, could the BMW pull one off this year? I guess they did pull one off last year, so can they do it again?
Well, on the pass, I think that was a perfectly clean pass because you look at the replay, like he actually didn't make contact with Schultz at all.
Right.
Like Schultz ran wide, saw he was there, saw that, he lost the line and he gave it up. And as he should, if he had leaned back in, he would have collected both of them. And he had lost the line. He had lost the line. Sean beat him to the corner. Even though it was tight, it was clean. And again, Matthew Schultz has done that to other people plenty of times where he's made contact and actually pushed the people out. So he's the last person in the world that can complain about somebody passing him rough or his feeling that he's getting passed rough. Because if anything, we could show this video to PJ Jacobson and say, hey, PJ, does this pass on Matt look clean? And he'd be like, it actually looks too clean. He should have hit him. Because I got plenty of paint on my leathers from last year that came from Matt, and he never came to apologize. Instead, he taunted me at the media booth afterwards, telling me, like taunting me that because he passed me so hard. So it's a clean pass, and I think there's, I'm glad that MotoAmerica, let him ride, man. Let him fight for that position. It's the last lap, and if we're going to start penalizing guys on the last lap and not allow them to make passes like that, which are clean, but if you start penalizing guys on the last lap, the racing is going to get boring. It's going to become Formula One, and this is not Formula One, man. This is motorcycle racing, and you gotta bang elbows, you gotta rub paint sometimes a little bit within reason, as long as you don't do anything that's outrageously dangerous. Like this is fine. This is a very, very slow corner, and this is a great opportunity. If you're brave enough on the brakes to try to make it to that corner, you can make it to that corner. And he obviously had more pace than Matt. He was on Matt's ass for a couple of laps. It's just that Matt was making his R1 as wide as an 18-wheeler out there. He was a good race. Matt was running a good race from the front.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're running that kind of race, you got to expect somebody's going to make a dive on you somewhere. If they got more pace than you and you're making your bike 7 bikes wide, they got to do something, man. Nobody's there to race for second place. And as far as BMW, man, I'm actually rooting for the Orange Cat guys. I know a lot of people out there. Jeff and all the guys at Orange Cat are a great group of guys. And they struggled or they've been toiling around in the stock 1000 class, and this is their first year on a full superbike. And to see what they're doing with the riders they have, I hope them the best, man. If they win at the end of the year, it's a well-deserved win because they really put together a great package. They've got a great team, great group of guys and girls over there. So, I wish them the best. I definitely wish them better than Ducati.
Oh, stop it. Let's talk about the super sport, man. Because Ducati...
Hey, don't be counting us out, Lewis. We ain't out yet.
I'm not counting you out, man, but
Hey, you see the point spread. We ain't that far.
You about 12 horsepower shy of a full dozen, man.
Hey, doesn't matter, bro. Points are points.
All right. We're gonna see. It's gonna, Jersey. Let's talk about the super sport before we get out of here, guys. Josh Herron won the first race, second race. Darren Bender, second place. Kayla, a third place, and then she crashed out in the second race. She was leading the second race, looking really good. I felt bad for her when Herron passed. The pass was clean. I didn't get to have a conversation with her to find out, what happened, but it looked like she might have just carried a little bit too much corner speed to crash out. I've said it before. She's in a similar position as Acosta as far as not getting the W yet. What are your thoughts on the overall super sport races and just, where she's at, she's 18, so I'm not, I think she's where she's supposed to be, honestly. But let me hear your thoughts, TJ.
Yeah. No, I thought she rode really well. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, but it's not really like, she's taking it very well, I should say. So you can't tell like so much pressure. She's having fun. To get another pole is impressive by her. Just showing her improvement, and she got what it takes. And I thought this weekend or this round would be the round that she could pull it off. For some reason, the red flags always seem like it interferes with her racing. She always gets a nice, good lead, and always have to restart. Second race, unfortunately, she did crash out, but she was there and she had it. Josh Herron was on her tail pretty much for like 4 or 5 laps. I know, just hearing that bike behind you, and then that class, the pass, like you said, was pretty clean. And I think she did carry too much corner speed to try to size up the pass that Josh made. It's just, just a little error that she made. So it's unfortunate, but I feel like this is going to make her come back and realize, what really needs to happen next. And I think she's going to get it soon, but I think she rode really well.
Right. Reese, man, what are your thoughts, man? It's, she's 18 years old. I don't care, male or female. You're competing against, Josh Herron, who's a multiple superbike champion, probably super sport. You look at Darren Bender; he's been around the world and back again on a bike, and she's right there with them at 18. Does she take a little stock in that, or just keep kicking rocks until she wins one?
Well, first and foremost, in the super sport category, we do want to send and wish our prayers to Avery Dyer for having that major crash. That's first and foremost, and wish him a speedy recovery. With Kayla, she's right there. She's young, she's talented, so she's going to make mistakes. If you were in the super sport race, Josh was right there behind her the whole time. He was sizing up a pass the whole entire time, but he don't, because they're two teammates, he's not going to do anything. Josh has gotten older. He's gotten a little wiser. He's not going to try to take her out. He's actually trying to help her. But she's been fast all weekend. But Josh was fast right with her. And like he said, and I figured the same thing watching that. You started seeing Darren Bender click off the times. And I know he started watching that pit board. So he was trying to actually he actually wanted to pass her to pick the pace up, make her follow him. And if you watch, she actually took that corner just a tad bit too tight and with too much corner speed, and it just took her out. It was just a simple error. It was a kind of a little bit of mistake, because if you could have actually just ran just a little bit wider, caught right back up. You've been fast all weekend, caught right back up to Josh and followed Josh and picked that pace up. To put that gap between you two and, Bender. But she's coming along very nicely. Her time is coming. Ben Speeds even said it. Her time is definitely coming. She's one of the up and coming. So I have no doubt in my mind she's going to have, she's going to get her win coming here soon. It's coming.
I have no doubt as well, but I do see her in the post press, and man, she's it's like the on choose, it's like these folks that like second place is like last place. It's worse than last place.
It is, man. Too, nobody remembers. He's like, who was in second place? Oh yeah. You're like, dang. It's the worst.
It's the worst. What are your thoughts, Louis, on the Super Sport and the results?
It was a good race. I mean, it was a good weekend. I like Super Sport. I think the class is still a little too Ducati heavy. I think at some point, I still feel that they need to kind of step in and do something to add a little parity, because we have a lot of Ducatis up front in this class.
Yeah.
As far as Kayla, she's doing great. She is going to be at the top of the step at some point. When it's going to happen, it's hard to say, because again, the two top people in that class, they've got a lot of years under them. They got a lot of experience on them. They've won a lot of races. They know how to win races. They're mentally strong. And, this is the mistake that she made there. Again, this is a mental mistake. She took that corner a little too sharp, carried a little too much lean angle, asked a little too much from the front tire. I mean, it even looked like she might have even clipped the inside curb a little bit, and that upset the bike and caused it to lose traction. And again, these are the little mental mistakes that you will learn as time goes on, and as you run laps against these much, much bigger names that have had that. It's not that they're faster, it's just that they've competed at that faster pace at a longer time, and their racecraft is a little bit more honed. And she just needs to get a little bit mentally stronger, understand that you don't have to battle in every corner. You can pick your corners, pick your fights, follow the person. Sometimes if somebody's in front of you, take that as an opportunity to follow them, make sure you hit your markers, but also learn where are you stronger than them, where are they struggling, look at their tires, look at how the grip is coming out of some corners, and set them up for a pass. There's plenty of race to go. You don't have to try to push the issue to stay with somebody when they pass you. You can, again, this is racecraft, and she's still young, and she's going to get better at it, and she's good at it now. But again, every time you fail, you have to learn from your failure. You don't have, don't let it dominate you. Just, this is what I did wrong. This is what I could have done better. And the next race, you put those into practice. This is how anybody that really gets better at any sport gets better. No. And same thing, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Dyer. He had a bad one. I mean, now him and his sister are both out for, who knows how long. And I like both of those kids. They're great kids. So I hope to see them back soon, and hopefully sooner than later.
Right. Yeah, I did see Ella at the track. Yep. At least she's coming out and stuff like that, which is great to see. Likewise, speedy recovery. It's never fun going down. It's never fun being out. That's the other side of the racing. That it's never fun. And so we can't wait to see them. And the MV's looking good. Joseph Lamandri stepped in for Ella. He finished 8th on Saturday, and it looked like before Avery went down, he was also running really well in the weekend, and so which is great for MV. Sucks for those two, because the program it's a new program as far as MV coming into the Super Sport class, and the two to have a brother-sister team is pretty impressive. So looking forward to seeing both of them back at the track and on their bikes. Anything I missed before we get out of here, guys? I want to bring up. We'll start with TJ.
This second, but I'm just waiting for the next round. MotoGP is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what's going to happen before the summer break. I said MotoAmerica was definitely a good weekend to see. Hopefully, Kayla can pull it off. Get a win the next round, and she's gotten 3 poles already this season. I must say, though, in MotoGP, it was cool to see Iragora have his bike raced through the center for first place, and he hit the button for fireworks. So that was pretty cool.
So. All right, there you go. How about yourself, Reese? Anything you want to get off your chest?
No, that's it. Now we just need to know what that point spread is. Since y'all got DNFs.
Is that right? Let's see where we at. I think round 10. Man, there's DNFs out there. It's a tough life.
Hey, I was here on Monday. How come I get to choose on Monday? What was that, Wednesday? I'm about to text you my picks next time.
Well, that's what Reese did.
Hey, I was on the water. I test those in real quick. Hey, yo, put these in.
So,
being proactive. All right.
It's gonna be a long weekend, guys. Long weekend, long season, but it doesn't look too bad. I think that you never know. I mean, Pecco Bagnaia was able to come down from bigger deficits and win a championship. So I think I jacked all our screens up. If you guys can hear me, let me bring you guys back in and figure this thing out here because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Hey, I had to put it out there. I was like, let me know what my points is. I was like,
I thought about that too. I was like, yeah, maybe you just skipped it out of there. I'm like,
nah.
Yeah, you guys might have to. What is it? What is it when you challenge race direction?
Don't worry. I'm gonna get a lockout. So you better watch out.
Put in a complaint.
I'm gonna get a sprint and GP lockout.
Okay. Well, I guess we didn't really talk about Morbidelli. I feel like there's no, as I'm thinking about penalties and stuff. I mean,
there's the door. That's all I gotta say. There's the door right here. That's where he's heading to the door.
Yeah,
he's doing it again.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing to. It's like distracted riding, right? At this point, it's almost we've been fortunate because he hasn't really caused any. I mean, outside of qualifying times and such, he hasn't really caused any harm. But it's possible one of his episodes, for lack of a better word, could cause somebody into and put somebody in a really bad position as far as crashing.
Who's going to hurt somebody first? Is it going to be Morbidelli or the KTMs that keep shutting off for no reason?
KTMs, yeah.
Yo, the KTMs are more dangerous.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying the KTMs, where they getting their wire harnesses from, man? That's not even Chinesium. That's like,
bruh, you are ruthless.
Bro, my man hit the rumble strip and the bike shut off.
Yeah. Let me ask this though, guys. I mean, like what Gunther, whatever his last name is Steiner, something like that, whatever he is.
Steiner, yeah.
To be sitting here talking trash to Maverick after Maverick put so much money into KTM and I don't know how much money, but he put some money into KTM and was the best rider. I mean, is this a situation where this guy thinks what he did in Formula One he can do in MotoGP? Could this backfire on him sitting here saying, hey, here's a guy that we kind of made a promise to. We're going to tell him to hold up. We're going to hold off a little bit. And then I know Maverick said, look, if I'm out of MotoGP, it's KTM's fault, which, Maverick is going to run his mouth, obviously. But what are your thoughts on that whole back and forth?
I mean, TJ can start. I got my thoughts.
I didn't see that. So, yeah, you start on that. You start.
First, I don't like when riders and team principals put their dirty laundry out in the public. Like, these are conversations that they need to keep behind closed doors because it makes both of them look petty. It makes both of them look bad. Like, you don't have these conversations and you don't debate these things out in the public. You can debate somebody being a dangerous rider and things like that out in the public. If people say, oh, Morbidelli's dangerous, this person's dangerous, this person's always, that's fine. That's because that's in the public. You saw that on video. You see that on camera. This is stuff that takes place inside the garage, behind the doors of the garage. And when you start putting this out in the public, it's never good for the rider and it's never good for the team because it's a PR nightmare. This is the same thing as, Jorge Martin last year when we wanted to get out of his Aprilia contract. He put it out in the public. And once you put it out in the public, there's no taking it back. And it always leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Like right now, Maverick Vinales is not performing. He hurt himself really badly. He hasn't come back from this injury well. And as a team, I would be looking for an alternative to him because he hasn't recovered the way I would hope he would recover by now. Marc Marquez has broken every bone in his body 3 times in the time that Vinales has only broken 2. And Marc Marquez is up at the front. And yeah, maybe you don't have the Ducati, but Pedro Acosta's doing this, and that. And where are you? You know,
like
Brad
you still
Binder
haven't
has
put
more
it
points
nowhere.
than you.
Right. You still haven't even put it up in the top 15 yet.
Yeah. Brad Binder right now has more points than you, man. And he barely ever finishes races. So know your platform, know where you're leveraging and where you're speaking from. That's the first problem. And the second problem is don't put this out in the public, man. You know, this guy Steiner, you know, he wants to bring some Formula One flair. Formula One sucks, man. It's boring because everything is politics. Everything is, you know, most of the races sometimes are decided in the boardroom or decided in the penalty box because this person is, you know, protesting this person and this person is protesting that person. And, you know, you clip the line here and this, like, there's so much judging in there that sometimes the racing gets a little bit lost because you don't let the people just go out there and perform. And sometimes the cars outperform the riders because this car is so much significantly better than this car. There's only 2 cars in the entire grid that are really good. That's not MotoGP. MotoGP, anybody can win on any given Sunday if the conditions are right. But again, man, Maverick Vinales has been through every team in MotoGP. And this is his last stop. After this, there is no other stop for him. So he should not be out there trying to put the laundry out in the public. Because who's going to take him after this? Ducati? Nope. Yamaha? Nope. Honda? Nope.
Maybe.
Suzuki? It can't. Suzuki's not there. They're not taking him back. So it's like
he can, you know, Zarco. Well, we'll see what happens, but you know, it would be awful if he goes out based on just difference of leadership.
I mean, if I bought a team, it's my team. It's not a leadership thing. Sometimes, you know what? I go into the paddock. I don't like what I see. I don't like this coach doesn't work well with these players. Do I either get rid of the coach or I get rid of the players?
Right.
It's my team. I can do whatever I want, man. At the end of the day, it's my money. I pay Maverick Vinales. He's my employee. And if I feel that I don't want him here for whatever reason, that's on me.
I don't have to have him. That's on me.
I don't have to have him, man. I got 22 other kids in Moto 2 dying for that seat that I could pay $200,000. By the way, according to this, Raul Fernandez this year, 250,000 euro.
Wow.
And look what he's doing. I can get a Raul Fernandez for $250,000. I guarantee you that. I mean, Vinales is getting a lot more than that.
Oh yeah.
Let me see if I can find Vinales here. My calendar of numbers here. Marquez.
Oh God.
Bagnaia, pretty good number.
Yeah. They said he gave up 10 million.
Antonio.
That's crazy.
You can't give up 10 million if they didn't offer it for you.
Yamaha.
I gave up 50 million to come work here.
That's about right.
They only offered you 100,000.
I offered you.
So I didn't give up 50 million. Maverick Vinales, $3.5 million he's making.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay.
I'm talking just salary before.
Yeah. No,
and they're doing nothing. And they're doing absolutely nothing.
$3.5 million to sit at home. He's teleworking, man. He might as well be on a Teams meeting all day because he's definitely not riding.
They're working out. No, I hear you.
Give me $3 million to go to the gym. I'll be ripped next week.
I'll say this. You're absolutely right. It should have stayed in house and not been out to the public because it does. It's you know, I think we see it in the NFL and entertainment and NBA that we know these people's salary and stuff like that, and people have remarks based on it and not realizing how much these people pay on taxes, and if they play in every state they play in, they got to pay taxing and stuff like that. All that stuff I think should be kept more like MotoGP in this sense, because it's harder to get those numbers. I don't know where you got those numbers from, but somebody might be knocking at your door at 3 a.m, Louis.
That's okay, man. We're out here, we're allowed to protect our homes.
No doubt.
We out here.
So, all right, guys. My name is Rex25. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. I want to thank TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee, Reeds from Attack Yamaha, the real Luis Ortega, the numbers guy. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.